Maybe she's right. I wouldn't want to raise my children in a religion that leads to poor outcomes. Let's take a look at the data. In a study conducted at the University of North Carolina, published in the book Soul Searching, Latter-day Saint teens ranked highly or at the top of effectively every measure of religiosity in their study. And here's a quote from the study's lead author. I'm not saying they're all perfect. I'm not trying to idealize Mormon kids. But when belief and social outcomes are measured, Mormon kids tend to be on top. Here are some key findings from studies documented in Shield of Faith. This study shows that LDS youth with a high level of religiosity are not only less likely to participate in harmful delinquent activities, but also more likely to have healthy self-esteem, resist peer pressure, and excel in school. But then again, why would I want them to resist peer pressure? It's not like other kids would try and pressure them into doing things that are immoral, right? The results also indicate that religiosity is a strong predicator of academic achievement, high levels of self-esteem, and low rates of depression. But kids don't struggle with depression these days anyways. Latter-day Saints have significantly more education than the general public. For LDS youth, more religiosity is correlated with more academic success. Interestingly, LDS adults who have more advanced education are more likely to be religious. But to your point, school is for fools, and we wouldn't want our kids to excel anyways. Latter-day Saint returned missionaries have a much lower rate of divorce and more children than their peers. The socioeconomic status of LDS returned missionaries is greater than the national average. And we certainly wouldn't want our kids to grow up and be successful economically. Then they would just be spoiled. Latter-day Saint men and women with higher rates of religiosity experience significantly lower levels of depression than the average American. The religious LDS lifestyle acts as a buffer against depression. Higher amounts of private religious behavior, such as private prayer, as well as public behavior like church attendance, are negatively correlated with depression. This means that the more religious you are in the Latter-day Saint faith, the odds are that you will be less depressed. And let's take a look at divorce. Returned missionary men had a divorce rate of 9%. Returned missionary women had a divorce rate of 15%. 9% of Latter-day Saints identified as divorced, compared to Catholics at 15, Buddhists at 16, Evangelical Protestants at 17, Black Protestants as 30, Jehovah's Witnesses 15, Jews 12, Mainline Protestants 15, Muslims 15, Orthodox Christians 13, and unaffiliated 17%. The divorce rate for temple marriage is 3 times lower than the national divorce rate. Yeah, but do I even want my kids to have stable, fulfilling marriages? And is divorce really that bad for kids anyways? The answer is yes. Yes, it is. And in all seriousness, you know what is really good for kids? Raising them in a home with both parents who have a fulfilling marriage and who strive to emulate Jesus Christ. We teach our children to follow him and to love and serve their neighbors and to love themselves. The data disagrees with your opinion. In my opinion, there is no better way to raise your children than in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and the data supports that.